Welcome to Virtual Voices. I'm Eli, one of your AI virtual hosts. Join us as we review previous videos from YouTuber Emmaus Road Productions.
And I am Miriam. And together, we bring you a deep dive podcast powered by Google's NotebookLM. This podcast is a generic AI-generated summary of Emmaus Road Productions videos, and we don't cover everything. Please consider watching his full video linked in the description below.
Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. I hope you're ready for some good food and some time with your family and friends. But in the middle of all the Thanksgiving chaos, we're going to take a little time to deep dive into something, well, pretty meaningful, I think, Cultivating a thankful heart.
Yes.
Not just today, but, every day.
Absolutely.
We found this video by Emmaus Road Productions. Have you heard of them?
I have. Yeah. They do good work.
Yeah. It's called Be Thankful.
Yeah.
And it got us thinking about how we can, try to shift our perspective a little bit. We focus so much on what we lack instead of what we have, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. It's so easy to get caught in that comparison trap, especially nowadays with social media and everything.
Yeah, for sure.
And you know what I found really fascinating about the video?
What's that?
It talks about the impact, like psychologically, of focusing on what you don't have.
Oh, interesting.
Like that can lead to, envy and covetousness and eventually discouragement, maybe even depression.
Makes sense. It's like a cycle of negativity almost.
Exactly.
And, we're always like bombarded with messages about what we don't have. Think about advertising.
Oh, yeah.
Or social media, right? Everyone's life is perfect on social media.
Oh, totally. Curated, yeah.
So the video is saying we need to break free from this cycle and cultivate that gratitude.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the tips that really stuck with me was this idea, don't obsess over what you don't have, but practice gratitude for what you do have.
Yeah, and it's so easy to forget that, like we get so caught up in like the next thing, the next purchase. It's like this, it's called hedonic adaptation,
Right, I haven't heard of that.
Yeah, so it's like this tendency, we have as humans to like adapt quickly to new possessions or new experiences, and then we just end up wanting more.
Oh, those like you get the new phone, you're excited for a week, but then you're on to the next thing, the next gadget or whatever.
It's so quickly.
And that leaves you, I guess, always wanting more. You're never satisfied.
Exactly. Yeah. Like a recipe for being unsatisfied.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. And the video, actually, it has this thought experiment.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, where it asks you to imagine you have $5 million in your bank account.
Okay, $5 million.
Yeah. What would you buy? And then it asks you to think, like, how many of those things that you want to buy are actual needs versus wants that are, like, disguised as needs?
It's a really good question.
Yeah.
Because I know, like, my initial thought would be to buy, like, a fancy car. But do I really need a fancy car?
Right, exactly. And that's a great example, of the difference between needs and wants. Like, you need transportation, sure.
Yeah.
But do you need a flashy sports car?
Maybe not.
Probably not.
So, okay, we need to, like, break free from this cycle of always wanting more. But how do we even do that? Like, how do we change our perspective?
Well, the video actually offers another tip. It says, don't make yourself miserable by constantly window shopping or internet shopping for stuff and things that you cannot afford.
Yeah, it's so easy to do. You're on Amazon, you're looking at stuff.
Oh, absolutely.
But yeah, that probably does make you a little miserable, huh?
Yeah, I mean, it's like you're constantly teasing yourself with this lifestyle that you can't afford.
Yeah.
And it can lead to, envy, coveting, and, you might even end up in debt,
Oh, yeah. Especially with the economy right now. It's easy to get swept up in, like, the Black Friday frenzy.
Totally.
And spend money you don't really have.
Yeah, and that's where I think the message of the video is so important. Instead of focusing on all these material possessions, how about we shift our attention to something a lot more valuable?
What's that?
Time spent with loved ones.
Yeah, it's a good reminder, especially during the holidays. It's not about racking up a credit card bill. Getting those extravagant gifts that, maybe just end up sitting in the closet.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, think about offering your time and your attention to those you care about.
Yeah.
That's a gift that really means something.
That's a good point. That's a really good point. Now, the third tip from the video that really stuck with me is God has promised to meet all of our daily needs. It even, references Matthew 6:31-33.
Oh, yeah.
Which talks about, not worrying about what we will eat or drink or wear.
Yeah, and I think what's so powerful about that concept is it invites us to trust in a higher power, to let go of that anxiety about our material possessions and focus more on seeking spiritual fulfillment.
Yeah.
And when we prioritize aligning ourselves with God's kingdom, it changes our whole perspective.
Yeah. It's a good point. And, the speaker in the video, he actually shares a personal story about growing up on food stamps.
Oh.
Yeah. And he was saying that even when they didn't have much, materially, their true needs were met.
That's really powerful. And I think it shows how God's provision can show up in unexpected ways,
Right.
It challenges us to look at our own lives and recognize those ways that our needs have been met, even when we might not have realized it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good reminder to count our blessings, even the ones that we take for granted.
Yeah.
And to try to be thankful, not just on Thanksgiving, but every day.
Every single day.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. While we were talking about gratitude, it made me think about Thanksgiving traditions themselves,
Yeah.
They kind of offer a framework,
Yeah.
for being thankful.
That's true. Yeah. Just the act of getting together with people you love and having a meal and thinking about what you're grateful for.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's all built into the holiday.
Yeah. And what's cool is Thanksgiving also gives us a chance to make new traditions that are all about being thankful and giving back.
Oh, I love that idea. What are some ways that people could do that?
Well, one thing you could do is have everyone at the table say something specific they're grateful for this past year.
That's a nice idea.
It could be a personal accomplishment or a moment where they felt really happy or just, being thankful for the people around them.
I like that. It lets everyone kind of participate and share what they're grateful for.
Yeah, and it shifts the focus away from stuff and more toward the things that really make life good.
Right, yeah. What about adding a charitable element into your Thanksgiving?
Oh, for sure. You could do something as simple as donating to a food bank or volunteering at a soup kitchen, or maybe you pick a cause that your family really cares about and give to that together.
That's a great way to spread the thankfulness, beyond just your immediate family and friends.
Exactly. And it's a really good way to teach kids about giving back and sharing what they have.
Yeah, that's true. Speaking of kids, I think Thanksgiving's also a good time to talk to them about gratitude.
Absolutely. You're never too young to learn about being thankful.
Right. How can parents, encourage their kids to be more grateful?
Well, one thing you can do is make it a habit to talk about what you're grateful for as a family every day.
Okay.
You could do it at dinner or at bedtime or even just driving in the car.
I like that. Just make it part of everyday life.
Exactly. And it helps them, get in the habit of looking for the good in their lives.
Yeah, for sure. Making gratitude a daily practice. It reminds me of something that Emmaus Road video talked about.
Yeah.
The idea that gratitude is a choice.
Oh, yeah, that's a really important point. We think of it as a feeling,
Yeah.
but actually it's something we can choose to do.
So even when things are hard, we can still find things to be grateful for.
Absolutely. And that's where its power lies. It's not about pretending things aren't tough. It's about focusing on the good even when things are bad.
Yeah. And the video actually gives a good example of this. The speaker was talking about a time when he was feeling really down,
Oh, yeah.
financially. And he was having car trouble, just everything was going wrong.
Yeah, I remember that.
And he decided to go for a walk in nature just to kind of clear his head. And as he was walking, he started noticing all the beauty around him, the colors of the leaves and the birds singing in the fresh air.
And just like that, his whole mindset changed.
Yeah, that's really cool. It's like a reminder that sometimes you just need to step outside and be present in the moment.
For sure. Nature has a way of helping us feel more grounded. It's like hitting the reset button on your mind.
And I think that can lead to gratitude.
Totally, yeah. When you're wowed by the world around you, it's easier to appreciate all the good things you have.
That's a good way to put it. It's like, even as adults, we should try to be more curious and amazed by the world.
Yeah. And remember that even when things are hard, there's always something to be thankful for.
This has been such a great conversation. It's really made me think about how I approach gratitude in my own life.
Me too. And gratitude is a journey, not a destination.
Yeah.
Some days you'll feel super thankful. Other days you gotta look a little harder.
Yeah, it's true.
The important thing is to just keep practicing.
Make it a habit.
Mm.
And as we talked about earlier, there are so many benefits to being grateful. Less stress, better sleep, and just feeling better overall.
Yeah, it's like a superpower that can change your life.
You know, one thing that really struck me from the video was the idea that being grateful can actually change how you see challenges.
Oh, interesting. Tell me more.
Well, the speaker said that if you face hard times with gratitude, you're more likely to see them as chances to grow instead of as like impossible obstacles.
That makes a lot of sense. It's like gratitude gives you strength to deal with the tough stuff.
Exactly.
Sure.
And it helps you find meaning even when things are bad.
It's about choosing to focus on the good, even when things are hard.
Yeah. And I think that's a really important message, especially around the holidays. You know, it's so easy to get caught up in all the pressure to make everything perfect.
Well, at the end of the day, it's about connecting with people, sharing love, and being grateful.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. The holidays are a time to remember what's really important and celebrate all the good things we have.
Yeah.
And speaking of celebrating, so we're back, and this whole conversation has really got me thinking about, you know, how I approach Thanksgiving.
Yeah, it is amazing how just taking a little time to think about what we're grateful for can really change how we see things.
It really is.
Yeah.
And you know what? As we were talking about gratitude before the break, it made me realize how contagious gratitude is. Have you ever noticed that?
Oh, totally. It's like when you're around someone who's genuinely grateful,
Yeah.
it makes you feel more grateful too.
It's like a chain reaction, you know?
Exactly.
But
Yeah.
but the opposite is true too, right?
Well, for sure.
Like negativity can be just as contagious.
Totally. Like if one person's in a bad mood,
Yeah.
it can bring everyone down.
Yeah, it's like an emotional virus or something.
It really is. But the good thing is,
Yeah.
we can choose which virus we want to spread.
I love that. And I know I'd rather spread the gratitude virus.
For sure. It just makes everyone feel better.
Exactly. And when we're talking about spreading gratitude, it doesn't have to be some big thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's often the little things that matter most. Right?
Totally. Like giving someone a compliment
Yeah.
or holding the door open for them.
It can really make someone's day. And it's not just about making other people feel good.
Right.
It's also good for us. Like when we're kind and grateful, we feel better too.
It creates this like cycle of positivity.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. It's like we're making the world a better place, one little act of gratitude at a time.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
And you know, as we finish up this deep dive on gratitude, I just want to say it's not about being perfectly grateful all the time. It's a process, a practice.
It's a journey.
Exactly.
Yeah. There will be days when it's easy and days when it's harder.
For sure. But the important thing is to keep trying, to keep choosing gratitude.
Even when it's tough.
Yeah. And remember, there's always something to be thankful for no matter what. Even on your worst days, you know, you still have breath in your lungs and a roof over your head and people who care about you.
This whole conversation has been so inspiring, you know, and I think our listeners are really going to get a lot out of it.
Yeah, me too. I especially liked how we talked about not just why gratitude is important, but also how we can actually practice it in our lives.
Exactly. Well, from both of us, we wish all of you a very happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. May it be full of joy, good food, and a deep appreciation for all the good things in your life.
And as we gather with our loved ones this Thanksgiving, let's remember that gratitude is not just for one day. It's a gift we can give ourselves every day, and it can truly change our lives.
Beautifully said. And with that, we want to wish all of you a happy Thanksgiving filled with love, laughter, and gratitude.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive, everyone. Until next time, keep those grateful hearts beating strong.
Thank you for watching, and feel free to subscribe or take a look at some of these other videos. And always remember Matthew 6:33, but seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things will be added unto you. Until next time, have a great day.